It's the current popular trend right now in the Swiss watch industry. From Patek to Omega, everybody's using vibrant colors on their dials, and this is now seeping into the microbrand scene. But will this work on an aviator watch? Let's find out with Alcadus Opus version 2. This video is brought to you by Alcadus. This is the second iteration of the Opus 39, which comes in at a 39mm case. The lug-to-lug distance is 45.5mm with a 20mm width that comes with the lugs. The thickness is currently at 13.3mm, which may change depending on that crystal. The water resistance is 100 meters with a screw-down crown. The sapphire crystal is very prominent with its box shape and has an amazing clarity with its 5 layers of anti-reflective coating. Inside is the Miyota 9019 movement that is regulated for the Opus. It's an automatic caliber with 42 hours of power reserve and 4 Hz frequency. This will be released on March 11th along with the Alcadus Dromo, which we reviewed a few days back. Pricing for this will be around $300 by the time the early bird calls were opened. There will be some production changes from the prototype that we will be reviewing. These will include an improved crystal, drilled lugs, better clasp, and tweaked color for this particular dial. When you think about aviation, watches, and popular culture, one might envision a Tom Cruise flying a jet fighter while wearing an IWC. But for those times he's hanging around with Will Ferrell sipping margaritas in Aruba's beaches, this might just be what he would wear. At 39mm, this Alcadus Opus will wear very nicely on someone with a Tom Cruise stature. The soft curving lugs and female end links of this watch will pair nicely with your pearly white $1,000,000 smile. Alcadus made the operation of this watch very hassle-free with a large conical crown. Hidden under this crown when unscrewed is a lovely red ring that tells you it's in the open position. This is a rare feature that I wish all watches should have. From here you can set the date and time with no difficulty, especially with this large crown. When you're done, simply screw down the crown again and see the red ring disappear. It's a small touch of refinement that I'll never get tired of. My least liked part of this watch is the clasp. This clasp definitely accomplishes its job with its sizing holes and friction lock bridges. It's very Seiko thin, leaving much to be desired compared to other watches in the same price range. I do like its large link screws and modestly articulated bracelet links. There is a problem with the links being rather sharp and gets stuck on certain angles. This was addressed to Alcadus and we hope it will be fixed in the future. It's still a light catching bracelet that will see some good use from its owners. Early adopters will get some pretty good swag with the Opus. The packaging is still being finalized, but the brand sent us this very nice magnetic lid box along with a compact and quite squishy watch roll. With each purchase, you will be given a choice in their selection of handcrafted Italian leather straps. The option is available to add more straps in their website. I asked for the gray nubuck strap as I felt this made a good complement for the lively dial collar. These have quick release spring bars that encourages strap changing. On the skin, it's very flexible and smooth to the touch. It also tapers down to the buckle, which is signed in relief with the brand. This is actually the strongest point of the Opus, even if the collar goes against conventional tastes. With the dial being so much of a conversation starter, the strap needs to just keep the dialogue rolling. On this brown textured strap from Alcadus, the appeal goes off on a more earthy tone. The collar evokes natural visual elements, while the texture provides the interest for this combo. Bear in mind too how lighter skin tends to highlight this watch even further, so it's best to keep that in mind when choosing your straps. Let's go back to our traditional strap setup with an all-black material and stitch configuration. Here it feels a little unorthodox to see that blushing color over a colorless tone. It helps to have some semblance of texture or hardware finish to offset that very loud dial. With a white stitch strap, the combination looks a little more harmonious since the watch has some pretty significant white parts. Now there's a better balance of dichotomy between the strap and watch, not just an overwhelming divide. This strap from Artem also comes with a convenient leaf spring clasp that will help in the strap changing process even more. The Opus also works with NATOs, but you will need to take the spring bars off the included metal bracelet. I'm very happy to find that Alcadus did not cut costs in the spring bar department, which is very thick and robust. This adds confidence to this white Barton NATO strap. Now we have a very summery fusion, and I think this is the best out of all the straps we've tried out. The strap does gain some thickness, of course, but then again, sleeves need not apply. Let's land this piece on the table and examine it a little more subjectively. Even though the dial and watch seem rather simple and undecorated, there's still some subtlety to enjoy. First, you'll have to contend with that distorted boxed crystal. The slide and mirror polish bezel nicely frames this part of the dial. The sides of the case has a vertical brushed finish that's very utilitarian in feel. Underneath is a decorated case back that's adorned with beautiful bead blasted areas. Back to the top, it's that massive crystal once again. Love it or hate it, it does retain the aviation theme of the watch. As you look past this part, you will notice this matte textured dial. This, I think, is where Alcadus smartly kept it to a minimum. I normally prefer applied or sandwich style indexes, but that would have detracted from this gorgeous matted surface. This also helps a lot with the legibility under any angle, unless if it's viewed on the side of the distorted crystal, of course. Another good design choice is to have the matted hands that completes this look of the dial. All these elements gives a supreme contrast between the hands, dial, and outer ring. The Opus caps this off with a decent amount of lume. Let's not forget that this mint color is a derivative of the current fad of turquoise or teal blue watches. But the Opus is more than just a crasher in this Tiffany-colored party. It manages to deliver a certain kind of playful fun that are at times lacking on aviator watches. It keeps its high-flying roots along with its functionality with those clear hands and massive crown. But it defies conventions by also being land and sea worthy. Places under the sun where the dress code is a straw hat and sailor shorts. It's a pilot's watch where the pilot is always all smiles and loves a wardrobe change every other sip of tequila. If that's how you roll, this mint Alcadus Opus can be your party wingman. Just don't let this pilot fly after he's had a few rounds. This particular variant of the Alcadus Opus takes an otherwise open and simple dial and applies a flamboyant color to it. Now, this kind of experience can be had from high-end luxury watches, and it is quite an experience, but the Alcadus Opus proposes an alternative that won't break your bank.